Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya never truly meant for you to see him in this state. It was more of an accident really. He had just finished training and wanted to change. And you happened to walk into his dorm room at that specific moment when he was taking his shirt off. Midoriya was more self-conscious than most of the boys. While most would be alright with you seeing them shirtless, Midoriya wasn't. In fact, he was kind of insecure about it, and too nervous of what he would say. So once you got this chance, you couldn't help but let a smile bloom onto your face. Wow, you look, you look stunning, Midoriya. He blushes brightly when he hears you say those words. What? What are you saying, Ryan? Well, thank you, but I'm sure it's not that special, really, he says. And once he says that, you get that feeling in your chest that you just have to prove him wrong. There was no way he was thinking that of himself. He was brilliant, he was beautiful, and he was everything you had ever wanted. Not to mention, that chest of his was quite something to look at. And you were sure it would be something else entirely. Much more, well, exciting to feel. That's why he took a step ahead, and a couple more ones, watching his face get more and more nervous and confused. And then you put a hand to his chest, watching as he gasped a breath. Ryan, what are you doing? Well, I'm showing you that you look beautiful. You know, that chest of yours. It's going to make me insane, Izuku. You look wonderful, you say, leaning in to give him a peck, feeling his abs with your hands. And if he was a blushing mess afterwards, it was totally your doing. He can't help it. He's too shy and embarrassed. But he thinks about this for days and weeks. And no doubt, it does make him feel a lot better. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki is not particularly insecure about himself. Well, he's more insecure about his taste, if anything, and his quirk. But other than that, he's not really insecure about the rest of his body. And maybe he'd be a little bit weirded out if you were just fawning over him all the time. But other than that, he's not really just focusing on it at all. So when you see him shirtless and start just gawking at him, he's a little bit weirded out. Moyan, why are you staring at me like that? Is there something on my chest? He asks, and you kind of just burst out laughing because there's nothing more hilarious that you could have said. You're truly clueless, Shoto. About what? So there is something on my chest. What is it? Oh, there's nothing, dummy. You just look really beautiful right now. And suddenly, all thoughts in his head are immediately thrown out the window because you called him beautiful, and you looked at him like he was, too. He felt himself blushing and looked down. I'm not so sure about that. Well, how about I confirm it to you? And when he looks at you, and the way you're so eager and so in love with him, so he nods and lets you put your hands on his abs, feeling them gently, whispering soft compliments to him, and making his heart melt. By the end of it, he's a blushing mess, but he's very happy to be one. He needed that, and though he didn't know, he was glad that you did that for him, that you gave him something he needed, something that he had wanted desperately. Your approval and your love. You've always given that to him readily, of course, but this was just a new way of experiencing it. And even if he's too shy to admit, he did like that way of doing things. So maybe try to bless him with that later on. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki did not mind walking around shirtless, and he was in fact very confident and saw himself as someone who looked good. He wouldn't say he looked amazing, and that was not really the focal point of his love. He didn't really care about it. But he knew he had muscles, and he had beautiful chest. And of course, as his girlfriend, it was your duty to admire that and think of it. And you thought of it a lot. But never once did you actually get the chance to experience it, to feel it with your own two hands. And that was something you were desperate for. Something that you needed and wanted more than anything else. So that's why, when he took off his shirt, once it got hot, he smiled and put a hand on his shoulder, feeling the muscle move underneath. He was packed, truly. Katsu, can I do something? What do you want to do? Well, just give me a chance to show you then. And he gives you a look, like he's suspecting something from you. But then he just sighs in defeat and lets you do whatever. After all, it really couldn't be that bad. And when you put your hands on his chest, feeling his abs, his breath hitches. Look, he may be brave and he may have done many things and he's confident and all, but physical intimacy and being vulnerable in this way is not a thing that he's used to. It still shakes him up from time to time. And the way you're feeling him so gently, as if tracing every little inch of him, it's something. And it makes his heart act up. But he can't say anything. He's too speechless to do so. Moyan, you... what? Nothing. Keep going. And we keep doing that. Leaning down to trail soft kisses across the expanse of his chest. And once you're done, you put your hands in his hair, leaning forward to press a soft kiss to his lips. After all, it was the least you deserved, for being so polite and letting you do as you please for just those few moments. He wasn't usually this calm, and actually, you should take notice of that, because he likes it very much.